You see, one of the biggest impediments to living a better life is not the act of failing itself. It's what other people will think of you if you fail. So if you're somebody who struggles with the fear of being judged by others and want to acquire confidence so that these fears are not as potent, I have one simple mindset shift and a small framework that I'm going to give you that will fix all of this. And by the end of this video, you will realize how absurd this fear you have actually is. And don't worry, I'm gonna have a whole summary of this video in a PDF file, in a link in the description, so that you can come back to it as often as you need. But before we go into those things, there's one big mistake you're making right now. And that is that you absolutely overestimate the impact and credibility of other people's judgment. And so you get a better understanding of what I'm trying to say. I'm just gonna use an example from my own personal life. You see, after school, I decided to go down an uncommon path, a path that is more risky, that requires more self-reflection, introspection, figuring out who the fuck I am. And that put me at a risk of being judged, just simply due to the unconventionality of the lifestyle I was living. I avoided people I knew just simply to avoid unpleasant conversations. It seemed like others got their shit figured out. They went to university, they were already working on their first semesters, writing their first tests. It seemed like their whole career, their whole life, they figured it all out, they mastered it all. But I didn't, because I was still figuring out who the fuck I am. And I was scared of being put on the spot and being seen as something less, or plainly, just as loser. But the thing is, life is so much more than your career. It's about your physical and mental health, the people you spend time with, figuring out who the fuck you are. So all of a sudden I realized if there are so many things to master in life, perhaps no one is as certain with their life as they outwardly appear. So I started to realize that just as much as I struggled with finding a career path at that time, others who already had the career path struggled with things like mental health, physical health, finding the right friends, or actually figuring out what they are. Just that they never showed these issues, and therefore I was never able to know. You see, it's not a matter of who's better than the other, but who's more capable of facing their weaknesses. We're all in a struggle in life together. So even if somebody existed whose main job it is to criticize the fuck out of every single thing that you do, that person would get worse and worse over time, because the older they get, the more flaws of their own lives would start to be exposed, therefore not making them as confident in their judgment as they used to be. And you see, often people who do judge you, it's not that they hate you, but it's because they hate something within themselves that they reflect through their judgment on you. And if we put all of this into context, just imagine living a life that you do not enjoy living because you fear that somebody who doesn't like themselves will also not like you too. Of course that person's miserable. So that leads us to the first part of this mindset shift, and that is that based on my story, you should be able now to understand that everybody has flaws, insecurities, and doubts, and that people are not as perfect as you make them to be, which is why do not treat their judgment like it is perfect as well, because it is not. The second part of this mindset shift is you must understand that the majority of people whose judgment you fear, you will very likely not even know in 10 years from now. So just imagine in 10 years, living an unfulfilling life, having to say to yourself, I forbid myself from living the life I truly wanted because I feared what other people I don't even know anymore had to potentially say about me. Do you not realize how ridiculous this sounds? And to make sure that you have no chance in fucking this up, I'm going to give you a simple framework, a framework that I've used to manage all different kinds of situations that evoked a fear in me, this fear of judgment. And I'm highly confident that it will work for you, because if somebody like me who is so insecure managed to use this framework and apply it and fix this problem, this fear, what stops you from doing the fucking same? So every time you start fearing judgment, I want you to imagine every single person you're scared of failing in front of. And I know you have some people in your mind, the one parent, that one person in the friend group, that one person at work or at school who's a little bit more popular. There is at least one person in your mind that you will be able to think of right now. And I want you to ask yourself 2 questions. And the first one is, will my act of failing influence their lives in a negative way? And if yes, how come? Does my failure result in a non-equivalent exchange? How can I prevent this? If not, simply do not care. The second question is, will I know this person in 10 years from now? If yes, ask yourself something like, will they remember me solely for my failure? Or is it perhaps not that deep? And if no, again, simply just do not care. What I now want you to do is envision this one person or this group of people you know you won't hurt in a negative way through your failure, and you know won't be in your life 10 years from now, regardless of if you fail or not. And I want you to tell yourself the following: I forbid myself from living the life I truly wanted because I feared what this cohort of people I just envisioned, or what this person I just envisioned, potentially had to say about me. You are going to realize how ridiculous, ludicrous, how fucking absurd this scenario is, right? And why exactly this cohort of people? Well, it's because this is most likely the people you fear judgment of the most. Just to think about it, a lot of the fear you have is from people you don't even know that much. Just take as a simple example, social media. If you start posting online and you're scared about posting it because you start fearing, oh, maybe that one person's gonna see that and you don't even really know them that well, but it would still be stupid if they see this part, this side of you, or you get all anxious, and you know the fucking point. Your fear of what other people have to say about you is fucking ridiculous. It's so not necessary. And the goal of this framework is to show you exactly that. And yes, as already mentioned, it's going to be available as a PDF file in the description. So read it as often as you need, apply it as often as you need. It will work. And hey, even if everything I just talked about wasn't enough to you, I'll give you one additional step that you can apply to your thought process. And that is, every time somebody is judging you, saying something about you, the act that you so much fear, and which is why you clicked on this video, they are very likely just saying something about you that they would prefer to do with their brain in your shoes. I'm not gonna put my foot up here. No. And just remember, it's never gonna happen overnight. You're not just gonna become confident with applying these simple steps one single fucking time. Like, it's repetition that makes all of this possible. So just accept that it's gonna take a little bit longer than you maybe expect, but it will work if you are ready to sacrifice some of your time, some of your effort to eliminate this problem.